Have you ever worried about getting every little detail of Christmas just right? The perfect tree, the perfect dinner, the perfectly wrapped gifts? It's a lot of pressure, isn't it? Well, today, I want to tell you a story from over 200 years ago that proves the most memorable moments often come from the biggest imperfections. It's a tale about a missing book, a confused congregation, and one of the most beautiful Christmas services that almost never happened. Let's travel back in time to a small, snowy town in the year 1808. Imagine a cozy stone church, its windows glowing warmly against the chilly December air. Inside, the pews are filled with families huddled together, their faces lit by candlelight. There's a buzz of anticipation. It's Christmas Eve, the most magical night of the year, and everyone is ready for the highlight of the service, the singing of the carols. The organist is poised, the choir is ready, and the pastor steps up to the lectern. He clears his throat, shuffles some papers, and then a look of mild panic crosses his face. He checks again, looking under the lectern, behind the velvet curtain. A quiet murmur spreads through the church. Something is wrong. The pastor leans over to the choirmaster and whispers. The choirmaster's eyes go wide. The book, the one and only book containing all the Christmas hymns for the service, is gone. It's not just misplaced. It's vanished. Now, in 1808, you couldn't just pull up the lyrics on your phone. There were no projectors, no printed handouts for everyone. That single, precious, hand-scribed book was everything. For a moment, a heavy silence falls over the congregation. You can almost hear the collective thought, "Is Christmas canceled?" Disappointment starts to creep into the room. Children who were excitedly waiting to sing Silent Night or O Come. All the faithful start to fidget and look crestfallen. The pastor, seeing the mood shift, knew he had to do something. Canceling the carols felt unthinkable. This was the heart of their celebration, the moment they all raised their voices together in joy. So he took a deep breath and addressed the crowd. He said, "My friends, it seems our book of carols has decided to take a holiday of its own. But the spirit of Christmas isn't found on a page. It's found in our hearts. We know these songs, don't we?" He looked around, making eye contact with the faces staring back at him. "Let's sing what we remember," he suggested. "And if we forget a line or two, well, perhaps God will forgive us. Let's just sing." There was a moment of hesitation. Sing from memory? In front of everyone? It felt a little scary, a little exposed. But then, the organist, taking the pastor's lead, began to play the familiar opening notes of a beloved carol. The tune was soft, inviting. A few brave souls in the front pews started to sing the first line. Their voices were a little shaky, a bit uncertain, then a few more joined in, and then a few more. Soon, the entire church was filled with sound. But it wasn't a crisp, polished performance they were used to. It was something entirely different. They'd get through the first verse of a song perfectly, their voices swelling with confidence. But then the second verse would begin, and someone would forget a line. They'd trail off, and a ripple of quiet laughter would move through the pews. Another person would jump in with what they thought was the right word, only to be corrected by their neighbor in a loud whisper. When they got to a verse that nobody could quite remember, something magical happened. Instead of stopping, they just hummed. A low, gentle, collective hum filled the church, a sound that was both intimate and communal. It was the sound of a community holding a space together, filling in the gaps with shared presence instead of perfect words. Little kids, not knowing the lyrics anyway, hummed along with gusto, their eyes shining. One carol flowed into the next in this beautifully messy way. The choirmaster, who was usually a stickler for perfection, just stood there with a huge grin on his face, conducting the happy, chaotic chorus of townspeople. A farmer with a booming baritone voice accidentally sang a line from a completely different song, and everyone chuckled. An elderly woman, whose memory wasn't what it used to be, just sang the one line she knew over and over again, her voice a sweet, reedy thread in the tapestry of sound. What they discovered that night was a new kind of harmony. It wasn't the harmony of notes and chords, but the harmony of shared vulnerability. By letting go of the need to be perfect, they found a deeper connection. They weren't just performing a tradition, they were living it, creating it together in real time. The pressure was gone. The focus shifted from getting it right to just being together. After the last note faded, there was a profound silence. It wasn't awkward or empty, it was full. Full of warmth, full of affection, full of a shared experience that nobody would ever forget. People looked at each other and smiled. It was, by all accounts, the most moving and joyful Christmas service anyone could remember. Years later, people in that town would still talk about the year the Carol book went missing. It became a cherished local legend. When new families moved to the area, they'd be told the story as a lesson in what Christmas was really all about. It wasn't about the pristine performance. It was about the collective effort. It was about grace, humor, and the beauty of imperfection. One person who was there that night wrote about it in a letter to their cousin, and that's how the story survived. They described the feeling in the church not as chaotic, but as being wrapped in a warm blanket of uncertainty. What a beautiful way to put it. It was cozy, comforting, and safe, even though nobody knew what was coming next. They were all in it together, navigating the forgotten verses with humming and laughter. This story really makes you think, doesn't it? In our own lives, we often strive for that picture-perfect holiday. We follow recipes to the letter, we rehearse the school play, we try to make everything flawless. But maybe, just maybe, the real magic happens when the cookbook gets splattered with sauce, when a line is forgotten on stage, or when the Carol book goes missing. Those moments of imperfection are what make our stories unique. They're the moments that force us to be present, to rely on each other, and to find joy in the unexpected. The people in that church in 1808 didn't get the Christmas they expected, but they got the Christmas they needed. A Christmas that reminded them that community and connection are far more important than perfection. They learned that when you sing imperfectly, but together, you create a kind of music that no sheet music could ever capture. So this holiday season, if things don't go exactly as planned, maybe take a page from their non-existent book. Embrace the delightful mess, laugh at the mistakes, and through the parts you don't know. You might just find that your most imperfect Christmas turns out to be your most perfect one yet. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this story with me today. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a like and consider subscribing for more stories that warm the heart. What's your favorite memory of an imperfectly perfect moment? Let me know in the comments below. See you next time.